Hey, future CPAs, let's be real. The law on obligations can feel like a total maze sometimes, right? Well, you're in the right place. In this explainer, we're going to crack the code on a super important part. What happens when something gets lost or wrecked before it's even delivered? Nailing this isn't just about passing your next quiz. This is a core concept, a brain hack that's going to stick with you all the way to the board exams and beyond.
All right, let's jump right in with a problem that you will 100% see in some form. You've got a debtor, a specific car, a deadline, and a typhoon that just wiped it out. So is the debtor off the hook? Think about it for a second. What's your gut reaction? We're going to circle back to this and solve it like an absolute pro at the end.
So to answer that question with total confidence, we've got to build our foundation. This is our game plan, our roadmap. We're going to break down each of these key concepts one by one so you can analyze any obligations problem the examiners decide to throw at you. Let's get into it.
First things first, let's lock down the absolute foundation of this whole thing. You hear this word in class all the time, presciatzen. But what does it actually mean? It's way simpler than it sounds, I promise.
Basically, the prestation is just the main event. It's the action at the very heart of the deal. It's the what. What does the debtor actually have to give or do or not do? It's the subject matter of the whole obligation. Simple as that.
And here's the cool part. Every single obligation you will ever encounter, no matter how wild or complicated it seems, just boils down to one of these three things: to give something, to do something, or to not do something. Once you get that, the whole subject feels way less intimidating.
Okay, so let's build on that. We're going to zoom in on the two give obligations, because this next part, the difference between determinate and generic things, is a classic exam trap. It is the absolute key to solving that problem from the beginning.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. A determinate thing is unique. It's one of a kind. It's that specific thing and no other. But a generic thing, it's just one of the pack. It's defined by its category, not its individuality. And trust me, this isn't just about words. It completely changes the rules of the game.
So if you promise to deliver a determinate thing, the law puts some pretty strict duties on you. You got to deliver that exact thing, and you got to take care of it. But look at that last point, the key rule. Generally, if a so-called act of God destroys it, you're off the hook. But notice that little usually? We'll get to that. Now, flip the script. For a generic thing, the rules are totally different. The most important point here is that a fortuitous event does not get you out of it. And why is that? Because of this cool Latin phrase, genus numquam perit, the genus never perishes. You can't just say, oops, the 2024 Vios I had for you was destroyed. Nah, the law says you can always just go get another one.
Okay, so we just said you have to take care of it. Let's double-click on that phrase, because this is a big one you have to know for the exams. Diligence of a good father of a family. What on earth does that mean?
This isn't just a suggestion. It's right there in the Civil Code, Article 163. Think of it as the default setting. It's the ordinary, reasonable level of care you're expected to use. Now, a law or a contract can totally crank that setting up to expert mode, but this is always your starting point.
And to make that idea really stick, here's the perfect way to think about it. It's just common sense. If you borrow your friend's brand new, expensive laptop, you're going to protect it, right? You're not going to leave it out in the rain or use it as a coaster. That's it. It's about being responsible, not superhuman.
All right, so when we're talking about delivering a specific thing, it's not always just about the main item. The law also brings up fruits, accessions, and accessories. Let's quickly clear up what the creditor gets and, more importantly, when they get it.
This timeline is so critical for exams. Your right to demand the fruits, that's your personal right. It starts when the delivery is supposed to happen, but you don't actually own those fruits. You don't get a real right that's good against the whole world until the thing is physically handed over to you. That distinction is huge. And don't forget, the deal includes all the extras. Accessions are things added to it, like an upgraded stereo. Accessories are things you need to use it, like the keys to the car. The obligation to deliver a specific thing automatically includes all these, even if the contract doesn't say a word about them.
Okay, team, deep breath. With all our new brain hacks, it's time to go back to that first problem. We have the tools, we have the knowledge. Let's break it down and get to that top-notcher answer.
Okay, step one. What are we dealing with? His specific car. That's 100% a determinate thing. So our first thought, just based on that general rule we learned, is that the typhoon, a fortuitous event, wipes out the obligation.
It looks like A is in the clear, right?
But not so fast. Here comes the LECPA twist. Look at the dates. Delivery was due on February 7th. The typhoon hit on the 28th. A was already late. This means A is in what the law calls legal delay, or mora, and Article 1165 of the Civil Code drops the big exception to the rule.
And there it is. The verdict is yes, A is still liable. Why? Because A's delay completely cancels out the act of God defense. Since he was already at fault for not delivering on time, he has to bear the risk of loss, even from something he couldn't control. So he's on the hook for the value of the car plus any damages.
Okay, to make sure all of this gets hardwired into your brain for the long haul, we have boiled everything down into one super powerful summary slide. Seriously, get your phone out and screenshot this. This is your cheat sheet.
This slide is everything. Prestation is the what. Determinate versus generic tells you who's liable when disaster strikes. The default care is the good father rule. The right to fruits all hinges on that moment of delivery. And the absolute game changer, the delay exception. If you can burn these 7 points into your memory, you'll be able to analyze and crush a huge range of exam questions. And to keep your brain working, here's one last thing to chew on. We know what happens when the debtor is late. But what if the table's returned? What happens if the creditor is the one who's late in accepting the delivery? That's a whole other can of worms, and it's something for you to explore next. Good luck.